Welcome back, guys, gals, and NB pals, to episode 8 of Anno 1503. And today's episode is going to be all about the gems, the bling. At the end of last one, of episode 7, we found this gem deposit right here. And we've... Okay, random camera pan. And we've since sent our ship this way, which means we're now going to be building a warehouse to make use of that gemstone mine. I'm going to turn the music down a bit because that is very loud. At least on my ears. So the agenda for today is pretty simple. Build a gemstone mine here. Get those traded over to my main island. Get those processed there into proper jewelry. Build jewelry stands so my inhabitants can actually buy the things. And then start building aristocrats' houses. Should be fairly straightforward and simple, and should take the full hour we've had in the last episodes, but we're going to get going right away. So what do we actually need in order to do that? We need stuff transferred from the ship to the warehouse. The big question, of course, is yeah, we need more bricks, which is okay. We can do that. The important part was actually getting the warehouse built so that we secure this mountain range here. And as you can see, this is firmly within our control. Southern Star is about to guard this place. Here's a scout somewhere. Yeah, they're hiding between the trees. He's the hero who found this deposit in the first place, so we're gonna treat him well because he's earned that. In the meantime, we should probably check out our supply chains. We've got a lot of gold coming in, that's nice. But yeah, then again, we're not really making use of that, so of course it's gonna just pile up. Same with grain and flour and hemp. And hops and ropes and whale blubber and dye and wood and bricks and marble. Food looks at least stable for the moment. Leather's full, salt is full, alcohol is filling up. Tobacco is an issue that we should address. On this here island. Yeah, maybe we should just build another couple of farms for that. They don't seem too effective, but every little helps, I suppose. Oh, okay. There's another slope in there. Let's see if that's actually enough. It should be. We're talking about 2,260 inhabitants. At some point they will consume more than we can produce. And we just need to be aware of that. Oh, are we? Yeah, there's Gaffia. Gaffia can then transport more bricks over to, what did we call this island? Riddlestead. That's actually a surprisingly good name. Okay, so cloth is also dangerously low. So is lamp oil. And cloth itself. we have a couple of things to take care of, it seems. Okay, you go over here. So, tobacco products are low, spices are fine, medicinal herbs are fine, cloth is not, which means cloth will be one of those things that we take care of right now.
An ore deposit has been found.
Has it now? I thought we had scouted all of that. Alright, we need more tools for the job. Just prevent those guys from upgrading for a second and the situation should resolve itself. More or less. Yeah, but literally everybody upgrading their houses would explain why the demand for stuff has shot up exponentially. But food is still going up, that's the most important thing. If they have food, they're at least somewhat stable in their numbers. You won't see a sudden drop in population. We will see some drop if we run out of other important stuff, such as tobacco, but that takes a while. Food is more immediate, and that is why we've basically drawn up all of this. Another ore mine that's emptied out. Fine, we're going to go for the deep one. Yeah, this is not going to find anything anymore. But that's actually part of the problem. We need to buy goods, we need to buy tools, and then we need to wait for the trader to come by and sell us that. Has the ship arrived up here? Almost. That is very good news. Let me take that time to address an issue I've been noticing on the last couple of videos, which was my sound quality. I've been tinkering around with the settings a bit, so that I'm both louder, like my voice is louder compared to the game, and the noise gate should interfere less, so everything I say should now actually also be picked up and not filtered out by OBS. And it started working. Lovely. Okay, that means Geffy or Southern Star, that doesn't really matter, so we're going to use Southern Star because we're not used to that name yet. We're going to start at Riddlestead, load up on gems, drive them all the way to Lantau. That's very weird to see that city from a different angle. And go. And she's on her way. I do wonder when they will actually start picking stuff up here.
There is no doctor.
I think you'll find that there is. Yeah, there is. Which is why this is cured. Oh, the trade has been around, and we got more tools. And actually, most importantly, we need to invest that in a deep ore mine. Now we can actually produce our own tools again. I'm not too worried about the trade balance because we do make rather a lot of money, and the tools weren't that expensive to begin with. There's a smith, there's another smith, there's your smelter. It's been so long that I've built these that I've already forgot which one is which. But yeah, this guy can work again. Also, him not using up some wood is actually the reason why our supplies of wood are so full right now. Right, but with that out of the way, build more sheep farms. Get rid of all that foresty bit. Build a road. All the way to the mountain, most importantly. The weaver's hut. And that should, in theory at least, solve my issue with cloth, because that has been going down. Now, silk cloth requires silk and dye to be produced, which we have in abundance. So my issue with that should easily be solved with more dye works. Which turns silk and dye into silk cloth. Lovely. Just to be on the safe side here, I'm going to build one more silk plantation. Yeah, we've got the tools for that. Come on then. Can I actually click on that? That would be nice. Yeah, there we go. All the fields that we need. Lamp oil is another issue. We're full on whale blubber, but not on lamp oil. But there we go. Actually, I can probably just upgrade this all the way. I cannot, I'm missing the bricks necessary. And there we are, 10 tons of gems, which are all now on the ship. Lovely. That is then the precise moment where we need to start building a goldsmith. A goldsmith, which turns the gold and the gems into jewelry, which our aristocrats will demand. Just waiting for those bricks to be produced. And there we go. Right then, what else? Food looks good. Leather still looks good, so does salt, so does alcohol. Tobacco, we probably still need one more. We gotta set up a whole new production chain for that. Or am I? This looks tricky with the terrain. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit wonky, but we'll take it. This is not going to win any beauty building contests, but it's not supposed to, so I'm going to live with that. So there comes our first shipment of gems. And immediately, that goldsmith is out to get some. And that's my cue to build a jewelry stand. And a wine stand, come to think of it. Look at all of them lined up nicely.
Rosemary and expensive saffron on sale today at widows and orphans' prices.
I do have tons of wine, don't I? Yeah. It's not being used up right now.
Look at my fine wares. And get out your purses.
Oh, I'm sure they will get out their purses, especially when the jewelry comes rolling in.
That is the latest fashion in Florence.
Oh yeah, they seem to be all happy and satisfied. Looks nice. And all that's left to do now, really, is build an aristocrat's house for 20 bricks. Okay. That is expensive. I'm going to speed up time for a bit, just so we make some progress on that. Meanwhile, I'll take care of some of the other issues here. Silk cloth, for instance. That seems to still be struggling. Silk and dye are still stable. So the dye works here. It's doing its job at somewhat reduced capacity even. Lamp oil's coming back in. Clothing, on the other hand. Is that being demanded? I don't think it is. No, clothing is not being demanded, so that's something for the aristocrats. Okay, tobacco is now coming in. That's good. Cloth. On a low level, but stable. I'm just going to go ahead and build one more array of sheep farms, just to be on the safe side with it.
Another city has reached a size of more than 2,000 inhabitants.
Or has it now? Yeah, they do seem to be making some headway. Although they're wasting a lot of space on just production. And another monument. Like I said, these will be coming thick and fast.
Your rule has been wise and prosperous. Your people are happy and want to thank you. You may construct a monument to yourself.
Well, I'm all for a bit of vanity. So, monument. Where shall we put that? I think this is a good place. Right next to the jewelry stand. Oh, and here we go. We've got 20 tons of bricks. So it is time for the aristocrats. And 3, 2, 1. They want food. They want clothing, which they get. But how? They shouldn't really. Let's look into that further. And of course, wine, which they can get. I've got 224 tons of the stuff. And then, of course, church, public baths, theater, and parks. Don't have to tell me twice. For instance, about this ornamental garden, which takes 10 tons of bricks. Okay, that is steep.
Esau would have given more than his birthright for this bit of pottage.
So the really important question, of course, is how do they get clothing when I'm not selling it? And more importantly, when I don't even have it.
Are you trying to insult me?
Just gonna build a clothing stand. Or two. Or four.
This hat is the latest fashion in Florence.
But that still doesn't answer the question. How have they been getting it? More importantly, how do I produce it? Tailor's shop. Let's put that down here in the industrial zone. And what does that take? It takes cloth and fur.
The people praise your government.
That does need a trapper. I'm just going to assume for a second that this is what we need. And they also need a new warehouse over here. This is definitely not the most efficient placement. And I can already guarantee that we're going to run out of cloth again. So, yeah, just to be on the safe side here. Yet another set of sheep farms and weavers' huts will need to be built. Okay, that is getting quite loud. So, are you still happy? Kind of. You're all happy with your jewelry and your food and your wine and your church, kind of? You're not happy with your church because you're not in range of one. That needs to change.
Hey, come here.
Now you should be. Yeah, look at that. He's immediately going there. And he's happy again. How nice. I do like how every chapel gets automatically upgraded to a church once you've built the big one. That one. But I think we should give them another big one later on down the line. Or maybe upgrade to the cathedral.
Come here.
Do we get a cathedral?
Come here. Come
I can only assume we get a cathedral at some point. Okay, I do want another aristocrat house. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be built right here, each with its little hedge around it. And then that should be fine. I should be happy with that. We've got 3 tons of fur and 4 tons of clothing, so they should be happy. Everything should be good. We've got a growing supply of tobacco and cloth The silk is still an issue. Silk cloth, rather. So yeah, I need one more. We're still not producing enough silk. I think that's the issue.
The plague has broken out.
There are very few things which could interest me less because I've got full coverage of doctors in my town. And look at that, we're actually turning quite a nice profit. Or we would be if the plague didn't actually kill half my population. No, never mind, it's already gone. We're at 2,315, everything seems to be in order. So I think that would be a good place to transition, if you will, to the next episode, which will then be episode 9, which will deal mostly with me just upgrading and expanding that aristocrat quarter to a nice area. Just focus on beauty building in that area for a bit. Yeah, stabilizing the supply chains, upgrading that warehouse maybe, because that does look rather out of place in this fancy area. That's not enough power. We can do a bit of a hot fix here, I think. Ornamentals, that's what they mean, right? Flower bed, for instance.
This hat is the latest fashion in Florence.
A couple of these. How are these? What? Jesus, that was fast. Okay, you move back in right this second, sir. A pavilion. How would you feel about a pavilion? Rather well, it seems. At least it's being frequented and their satisfaction rises. Okay, they needed the pavilion. Good. Yeah, so that is setting the scene for the next episode. That is going to be the beauty building episode where we build out a nice little park, build more aristocrats' houses. This entire quarter here basically is going to be the aristocrats' quarter. And stabilize the supply chain and maybe beautify those roads as well, because they're mostly dirt roads yet. We need to upgrade those to stone as well, so maybe probably also build another stone mason over here or something. And that sounds like a good plan for episode 9, which might already be the last, but since this is part 2, we might extend this the series to a 10th episode.
There is no doctor.
Yes, there is. And he's already cured you, so shut up. Yeah, I'm thinking about giving this series, like the second series of Anno, a 10th episode just to wrap things up nicely, because we still will have the palace and everything that comes with it, and hopefully a cathedral too. And I don't think we're going to fit that all into episode 9. And also, there's still loads and loads of space up here that I do want to fill. Oh, you bastard. And we have a war to fight, because I don't want that bastard on my island. He's going to leave sooner rather than later. So yeah, we have a lot to do in the next episode. Until then, I do, first of all, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen here and enjoyed this rather relaxed sort of style of gameplay, I can only encourage you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also to my other socials, like Twitch, where I go through a series of retro games in a very similar manner and rate them based on how they hold up today. And the next video on this channel will actually be the next part of my Tomb Raider walkthrough, focusing on the London section of Tomb Raider 3, so the level Thames Wharf, with all the secrets and Devin Tennant. And if you know anything about Tomb Raider 3, you know that that's a very important distinction to how you'd usually play this. So no, this is not going to be a short video. But until then, I do want to say thank you very much, have a good time, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.